Hello, everyone. Welcome to OneClass. My name is Shanjida, and today I'll be going over some commonly asked math questions, both at the high school slash university and college levels. And a bit about me, I am a second year human biology student. And if anyone needs an additional schoolwork help or needs tutoring, you guys can check out the description box below. Other than that, we'll get started. Okay. So the first question here says find sine theta where theta is the angle shown. Give an exact value, not decimal approximation. Okay, so let's first draw out the triangle here. And so this is a right angle triangle. And so this side is 8, this side is 15. So when we are dealing with this type of these questions, we first let's write down what we know here. So the adjacent side of theta, so adjacent side from theta, which is the one that's right next to it, which is 8 units. So since it doesn't have it's not denoted with any specific unit, we're just gonna say that it's 8 units. And so the opposite side of theta is 15 units. And so now what we need to find, this this side right here. So what we're gonna do, so by given these two sides, we can basically say from hence by the Pythagorean theorem, we can say that we can basically write out the formula here. Which is, so I'm just gonna write hypotenuse as h equals the square root of your two sides. So I'm just gonna say adjacent with a squared plus o squared for your opposite. And so we're given the values for the both sides, which is 8 squared plus 15 squared, right? And so we can just simplify this, and we get 64 plus 225. And if we further simplify this, h is equal to the square root of 289. And if you put this in your calculator, the square root of 289 is 17. So we have 17 units as h. Okay. And now, so hence when we want to find out sine of theta for this question, what we're going to do, we know that sine theta is equal to opposite, right? Opposite over your hypotenuse. And so we're given the opposite side, which is 15. And your hypotenuse that we just found is 17. So sine theta is equal to 15 over 17. Okay, since it said not to give a decimal approximation, this is so it wants in a fraction. Okay, and so this is the exact value. And yeah, this is what the solution. Okay, so our second question says, what is the simplest radical form of the expression? So assume all the variables are positive. Okay, so we have an expression here. So let me just write this out. It's the 8 square, the 8 root of p 20, q of 29, and r of 11. Okay, 8. So when we're given this equation, this expression, sorry, we have to use the law of exponents, right? So from the law of exponents, right? So we can say, since this is the base formula basically, which is, and this is basically equal to a equal to a m over n. Okay, so by using this formula, we can basically get the answer for our question. And so what we can do here, we can basically separate each of the variables. So we can basically say, so for step number 1, we can say p of 20 of 8, right? And we can simplify this as p 20 over 8. Then the next step, the next variable would be q, and we have 8 to the q of 29. And so this would be q 29 over 8. And then we have the third one, which is r 11. And so we have r 11 over 8. Okay. And so once we simplify, so we can, so let's see which of the variables we can simplify. So we can simplify this e, right? Since we can, it's divisible by 4, and what we get here is 5 over 2. We have 5 over 2. And we can't simplify q because there's no divisible number that will be divisible by 29 and 8, and that goes for the same goes for r. And so what we have, so we can say the solution here is a 5 over 2 q of 29 over 8, r of 11 over 8. So this is our answer. And okay, so our third question here says, prove the following identities. Okay, third question. So just write cos. We're supposed to prove cos of pi over 2 posted by minus x over 2. Okay, and so the answer, the solution would be, so we know, so we can apply the cosine rule, and if you recall, cosine rule is cos A minus B. Oh, sorry, it's cos A times cos B plus sine A times sine B. And so keeping this in mind, we can basically apply this to our expression here, which is cos I over 2 minus x over 2. Right, we can say, so for this, we can say pi over 2 is for cos and x over 2 is sine. And so what we have here, we can say that if we break this, we would have cos pi over 2 times cos x over 2 plus we have sine pi over 2 times sine x over 2. Okay, so this is what we get once we break this equation. And now to simplify it, we basically add this up. And so cos pi over 2, which is cos of 90, is just 0, if you recall. And you just multiply this by cos x over 2. So, and then you have plus sine pi over 2 is 1 times sine x over 2, right? And if you further simplify this, you basically get 0 plus sine x over 2, and so this is just sine. And so so our closing statement would be that cos pi over 2 minus x over 2 is equal to basically sine over 2. Okay, so this is. And so that was the end of our session. If you like this Q&A, please share and subscribe to this channel. Other than that, I'm Shanjida, and I'll hope to see you guys soon. Bye-bye.